the temperature.
Yeah.
Do you know how many fewer yards a kick or a field goal might travel in those conditions? 2, 3, 5?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, you know. There's a lot of things. How cold is it? Is it rainy? Is it snowing? You know, those footballs do get hard. You know, I was talking to Riley Patterson earlier today, you know, about how many times he's actually kicked in the cold weather. He's like, Coach, I'm from Illinois. I'm from Edwardsville, Illinois. I used to shovel snow off the football field to go and kick. So yeah, it obviously affects it a little bit. So like the percentage or the yardage and stuff like that, you know, it probably depends on what the weather and the wind is and things like that.
All right, so what could have been done better on the punt return touchdown?
Yeah, I thought actually Jake Bailey hit a really good punt. It had great hang time. The direction was good. You know, we missed a tackle in space, and then we didn't contain it, you know, which we talked about how good that returner was. We got to continue to do a better job of coaching open field tackling, how to contain, things like that, you know, because, again, I thought the punt was really good. You know, we can't ask for Jake to hit a better ball than 4.8 and being 50-some yards and close to the numbers. Like, that's what we're looking for. We've got to go down there and make tackles and be able to contain so our net can be really good.
How irked were you with the punt, the fake punt, and who's, I don't want to say who's to blame, but what led to that mistake?
Yeah, you know, we never want to see that. And I'm a perfectionist like our players are. You know, that obviously we don't want that stuff. And it's a combination of everything. You know, we give guys certain things that, hey, do I have the wing? Do I have the PP? All right, well, what's the situation? It's fourth and really long where, you know, most teams aren't going to fake punt. But third quarter, maybe I could have been in an 8-man, you know, front, maybe said, hey, they could still run it, or hey, they got 8 guys in the box, maybe we shouldn't, which is what we had pretty much the whole entire game, except for one other one. So, you know, it's just me probably going into an 8-man front a little bit more to kind of say, hey, we're going to watch for your fake. I mean, again, they could still run it down 17 points, but, you know, that's the stuff that really irks me because I hate that. We pride ourselves in, you know, being good complementary football team, and we don't want that to happen. Especially our defense is playing really well. We don't want to give up points or anything like that. So, you know, I get a text message from my wife, and you know, saying, "Hey, you got to coach better." So, which you know, I love her for. So, she holds me accountable just as much as everyone does. So,
When did that come in? Was that in your phone once you got back?
Immediately, you know. So she was the Division I athlete, so she gives me all the coaching points. So it's great, you know. And even after a big win like that, it's disappointing. That's why I was so excited to get back to practice. We had a great practice yesterday. Our guys were locked in. You know, they were excited to be back out there. I thought Jake Bailey had one of his best days of punting the football. He came to me about 2 periods beforehand and said, "Hey, Craig, just to let you know, I'm going to have my best punt period of the year." And sure enough, like he was hitting the ball really well with hang time and direction, and our guys were juiced up and ready to get back at it.
I'm sorry, just to clarify,
Yeah.
did your wife reveal to you what triggered the text? Was it more the punt return? Or the
Oh yeah. Well, she's no hold bars on everything, but it was probably more the punt return because she knows the pride that I take in that net punt. You know, that's my baby. I love that thing. Anytime we get an opportunity to flip a field to help out our team, that's just such a big thing of what we talk about all the time. So that probably led more into it was the return.
Is there an inverse to those texts when things are going well? Do you get hyped up a little bit?
You know, a little bit, but again, she's a perfectionist too. We can't do board games together. Like that's out of the picture with the kids and all that stuff. We can't do that. So yeah, she's a big supporter, obviously, of me and our kids. So you know, I love getting text messages from her all the time.
Just curious, what do you guys do in practice? I guess to prepare for fake punts.
Yeah.
Like, what is the fake punt practice approach?
Great question. So Joe Jones, who played 7 years in the National Football League, who was a special teams ace for Denver, the Tennessee Titans, on Friday and some on Thursday. It's like I don't want to use the term, but it's, hey, how can we get you? So he'll have some type of fake that is in, and it could be something that we haven't seen. It could be something that he makes up with Jake Bailey or Riley Patterson or Jason Sanders. So they're drawing up different types of fakes for us to put us in a bad situation. So, we try to do a bunch of different fakes, maybe what we call exotic formations, where they break out of a different type of normal punt formation, where we've got to adjust to it. So that's how we try to prepare for fakes, motions from gunners, things like that. So we get to practice that on Thursdays and Fridays.
And how far back will you go and film? Because
Forever.
Because
Forever.
teams only show
Yep.
2 a year, right? So you have to.
Manny, our video guy, does a great job. In fact, when I got here, that was one of the first things that we did. We go back to every single special teams coordinator, and we go through their whole film and okay, what does this guy like to run? All right, is he a big fake guy on punt? Does he run fakes on field goal block? All those different types of things, those formations that we can take a look at and show the players. And, you can't show them every single thing. You got to make sure that you show them the ones that you feel that could, one, give you problems, and two, successful fakes that they have run in the past. So we just got done showing some. We'll show some tomorrow of Danny Smith, of what he's done. He's been a longtime special teams coordinator, so we know he likes to throw it sometimes to uncover gunners, which he's done in the past. So we've got to be alert for everything.
What is the impact of when you have Elijah Campbell and Caleb Johnson both hurt in game? I'm sure that creates a lot of shuffling on the unit.
It does, but it's an opportunity for someone else to come in there and make plays. You do have to rearrange a lot of different things when guys get hurt, especially when Caleb goes down. He's a starting wing, and now you might have to play Ollie Gordon, who might be getting some runs on offense. So you do have to change things, and that's where the whole communication goes with, Ronnie, myself, Joe Jones, our head football coach, defense, offense. Hey, we've got to use this guy just to let you know. And they're great to work with because, they know how important special teams are to our team, and we're successful, our team's successful too. So it helps out having good coaches that understand that we might have to grab a starter at one point in time to go play on kickoff, to play on punt return.
It says wind gusts up to 21 miles per hour. That's at this time. We still have some time before the game. Do you have real time direction and speed information that someone monitors and feeds, or is that just a little too much in the weeds?
No, our equipment, Joe, he is on top of everything. So in the equipment room, what I do when I get there, I go pretty much immediately to the equipment room, and Joe's got things up there. He's looking if it's going to rain, if it's going to snow, the wind gust, all those. He's the guy that end up, because, sometimes it's like, well, it's 3 or 4 days before the game. What's the weather going to be like? Well, we all know weather changes a bunch. So it's like, all right, what's it during game time? All right, can we prepare our guys during the course of the week? Sure. All right, if it's going to rain, we'll do a wet ball drill. But the wind gusts and stuff like that, that's pretty hard. The cold weather, obviously. But we usually like going out there way beforehand. I usually get there 4 hours before kickoff. I look at the field aspect. Hey, how's the field looking? And then I'm looking for the wind gust. Well, which way is the wind? Is it coming off the rivers? All right, 3 rivers. Should I quiz you guys on the 3 rivers? Would you guys know them? Oh, you got the hardest one.
Yes, I can't spell it.
Allegheny and
Allegheny,
Delaware.
the Ohio. All right,
Oh, the easiest one. We all
Joe,
Yes.
here's what's great. Guess who's trying to call me? My wife.
You shut it down?
Shut it down. Shut it down.
You don't answer the
Yeah.
I had one quick thing for you
Yeah.
on Jason. So
Yeah.
there's a perception, I'm sure any fan base would have this, that there's, an ability to be more cautious with Jason because Riley is kicking well. Is there any truth at all to that thought?
Yeah, I think, Riley is doing a great job. I think the most important thing that we go through and we talk through with our athletic trainers, with our head coach, with our GM, is what's best for Jason, okay? And is it Jason continue to get better day by day, week by week, where we can feel 100% confident and he feels 100% confident to go out there. Jason, I know, is always chomping at the bit to do whatever he can to help the football team, but we always want to err on what's best for him. And it does help that Riley's doing well for us. But you know, the whole thing is, you know, what's best for the player. And you know, we'll figure it out, you know, tomorrow, and we'll figure it out the next day and the next week of what's best for him.
Greg, I'm sure you've noticed when you guys win the coin toss this season,
Yeah.
you started taking the ball.
Yeah.
Does that make any difference to you or your guys receiving instead of kicking to start the game? And
Yeah, no. I think our guys are ready for either one, right? Whether we want to kick off or whether we want to receive the ball. You know, I know one thing that we do really well is we help out our field position on our kickoff return team, whether it's Malik or D. So we feel like we can do a really good job of getting the offense pretty good field position. So that's, you know, one key of going back in there too. But, you know, Mike always looks at it and tells me, hey, we want to receive the ball if we end up winning the toss. And we kind of go from there. But it doesn't really matter to us on special teams because, you know, we're always going to be the first one out there anyways. And whether it's on kickoff or kickoff return, let's put the ball down and let's go play.
one real quick, do you think it has any effect on the, are you a believer in the middle eight? And does it have any effect whether you receive or kick in that third quarter?
No, not really. Like, the one thing that we end up talking about with Riley, bless you, is, okay, well, if we do kick off in the third quarter, all right, how do we want to play the win? You know, do we want to take the win in the third quarter? Do we want to take it in the fourth quarter? Riley and I have a joke all the time. If we do kick off in the third quarter, I ask him the same question every time. Hey, which way do you want to kick off? Every time he answers me, hey, I want to finish the fourth quarter this way. And I say, Riley, that's not what I'm asking you, but I know what you're saying. So, you know, that's kind of the biggest thing. We want to talk to Riley where he feels comfortable at the end of the game of kicking a 50-some yard field goal with the win or into the win.